Hi guys, it's Chris again, back with another standard video. This time we're going to be playing best of 3 because this deck is heavily emphasizing a sideboard. The main deck is completely mono blue. The most surprising thing being we're not playing any Djinns, no Tempest Djinn. Going for a lower curve, cheaper creatures, everything with almost everything with flash except for the 1-drops and the Curious Obsessions, which are obviously like the kind of centerpiece card of the deck. Plenty of you know, diverse counter magic to try and keep the board clear. The deck is excellent when it gets ahead and very poor at coming from behind. So the plan is to, you know, play a 1-drop on turn 1. In a perfect world, you then follow that up by putting a Curious Obsession on it, and then you protect it with Spell Pierce, Dive Down, etc. We're playing plenty of Pirates now. We have 12 Pirates, which makes Lookout's Dispersal excellent. You also have plenty of Wizards, so you get to play Wizard's Retort as well. I must say, I almost copied the list card for card from William Huey Jensen of Channel Fireball fame, you know, former world champion. So it's probably better than the homebrew I played last time. The main reason we're playing black, we've got 8 black sources, are Noxious Grasp, really, which is to deal with Teferi. Teferi is a huge problem for this deck. It's also good against, you know, the new fairly green-heavy Elementals deck. Got plenty of good targets in there. Plenty of good targets in the Black-White Vampires deck that's around at the moment. There's plenty of reasons to play 4 Noxious Grasps in your sideboard. You're playing a few of the other color-targeted hate cards as well. The Cerulean Drakes are great versus red. The Aether Gust is sort of reminiscent of Flash Freeze. It's a counter spell, or well, more like a remand effect, but it can also remand permanents, and it's specifically against red and green. So hopefully some of these sort of narrow but powerful cards will come up during today's games. Let's get to some matches. Hey guys, we're about to go into our first best of 3 game with the mono blue splashing black deck. I will hopefully be able to play it somewhat adequately. It's quite similar to decks I play in older formats. I like the low curve sort of tempo style, usually blue-red in Modern, blue-white in Legacy. Lots of sort of Delver and Stoneblade stuff makes me happy. So getting that sort of Legacy feeling in Modern is pretty exciting. First hand stinks. We're going second, so a mulligan is less painful, I always find, on the draw. This looks decent. We can just chuck back the Catacombs, because in game 1 it's no different to an island, and we might as well try and conceal our secret black tech, although there's every chance we draw another black land this game. Well, that's a good answer to a Siren Storm Tamer, but it's still only a 1-drop for a 1-drop. We can live with that. I assume they're likely to ping it, but not really a red guy, so my red-based decision making is probably dreadful. This is what Beryl thinks. That explains what Beryl was up to. I think I'm just going to attack. And then we've got access to Cutthroat, we've got access to the Lookout's Dispersal. This is a pretty nice spot to be in. The best thing we could possibly draw would be a 3rd land, but just take it. Yeah. Okay, well, we don't know if that was the best or worst possible from their point of view. I think that resolves. Okay, let's land, fabulous. Attack for 1 in the air. I'm not going to chart because I've got plenty of gas and I might need the Lookout's Dispersal. I'm hoping they're going to attack with this, thinking it's a trade. I get to cast the Sailor and block with a 3-2. That would be nice. Let's see what they decide. Okay. Okay, so that's going to do 1 to me. Block. I'm going to cast this. This should probably force them to ping. That resolves. Sure. This is fine. So much card draw, but I think I have to let the card draw resolve and fight over the stuff they're going to cast. It's not great trading down on mana when you're a tempo deck, but for all I know, yeah, they're just pile of 1-drops. So attack, chart. And we probably just hold up Spell Pierce and Siren Storm Tamer. We do seem to be falling behind, but not by a ton. That's good against my 1-1 flyers, isn't it? The plus side is we do have several. I think we just pass and try to trickster this to kill it. We do have several. That's what I'm looking for. We have several of the pro-red flying 2-mana 1/1s. I forget them, Cerulean Drake or something, in the sideboard, which seems great in this matchup. I think opponent probably doesn't attack now, which suits us. We've got plenty of mana to pay for Spell Pierce. I don't see any benefit to.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fires.
They might go for something post-combat as well, you never know. Might get to snipe something. Spell Pierce are pretty low value when your opponent has 6 lands.
I can't believe Mother Rowdy gave us homework.
So we, I think, just have to send everything at Chandra, which is a little bit sad. We might get to Spell Pierce something here from the looks of things. I think we're so far behind, I might just cast 2 Spell Pierces to save this. As mopey as that is.
I thought this was a sparring match.
I think I prefer a double block if I'm the opponent there, but as I was saying before, I'm not really an authority on red decks. It's not really my style. So you can all laugh at me. Ooh, that seemed good. Playing them dreadfully at some point. Oh god, that might be lethal. Yeah, with the triggers on that's just lethal. Jeez. And then, obviously, I remembered I had a flying blocker after, because I'm smart like that. So we take these and those. Seem great. We have some non-creature spells, not too many. Cut a couple of those. We've just brought in 4 creatures, so we should be cutting some number of creatures, I assume. Non-flying, 1 toughness, dies to pingers, probably these. Don't like unsummon in general. pretty tough sideboarding with a deck when you don't particularly know what you're doing. I'm going to cut all 4 and basically straight swap them for the... Yeah, straight swap them for the full, what they call Brinehorn Cutthroats, which I do think is a very, very good card. I'm going to choose to play. I'm going to keep this hand, it's pretty decent. Obviously, our tempo plan isn't as strong as it normally is because their curve is at least as low as ours, maybe even lower. But hopefully we get incredibly lucky and they don't have what they take. They're off after shocking themselves. Okay, so I think the plan is to probably let them go to combat, get their trigger, and then Trickster full blocks and just eat the 1/1. We'll see what they decide to do. Computer's being funny, not letting me block, that's better. What you got, Beryl? Okay. Shock one of my things. I think they're going to live with that. We've still got some pressure then, and a handful of counter spells. This isn't too bad. Let's start attacking them. This is kind of where you want to be with this deck. I found, unsurprisingly, just having 1 to 2 small threats and the ability to ruin your opponent's life is pretty great. I'm going for that one over the retort because the retort is A, cut price because of the Trickster, and B, hits everything. Whereas that they can pay later in the game if they end up on 7 or 8 lands, which I'm sure isn't their intention, but you never know. Gonna counter that. Just plant the same plan, keep the board clear. I'm going to play this out just as an attacker, double our clock. So we do have nothing going on now, but we're pretty far ahead. That seems like a reasonable draw. It's a shame it doesn't have flash, so we do have to kind of... I'm going to hold the Watery Grave because 4 lands is plenty for this deck, and don't want them to know we are, you know, totally out of gas. For all they know, this could be a Essence Capture or something really strong. Although they'll find out, I guess, as soon as they cast a spell. That's fine. And then when losing the creature to a shot. Oh, opponent's deck is fun, to be fair. Credit where it's due. I'm going to attack. There's almost... We can't block, so there's almost no downside. I'm just going to pass. We take 1 to the Zawa Fugitive. I like that card, I think it's really funny. It almost never goes in boring decks. That's nice. I'm going to put it on the thing they probably can't kill. Or block. There we go. Opponent agrees that it's nice. Game 3, so... Feeling... reasonable post sideboard. That felt a lot better than game 1. All their pingers are significantly worse against the Drake than the Cutthroat. I'm just going to submit the same deck. The dream, I guess, at this point is to try to Entrancing Melody one of their creatures. This is a great hand. Obviously, there's every chance they can deal with it too, but it looks nice to me. I play the Storm Tamer. It's a nice combination of the Drake plus the Obsession against a deck with only red removal. It's fine. get rid of their removal eventually. Okay. So I'm just going to play out the Drake. I doubt they can kill it. And then next turn we can Obsession it, hold up Spell Pierce and dive down. Or if we're really lucky and we draw... Is this hexproof or it's actual protection so it can't be blocked? That's sweet. Because they've recently been preferring hexproof from a colour to protection from a colour. And I don't like the idea of them blocking with their stupid 1-3. We'll take that action. This looks good. Yeah, we're in a nice spot. Spell Pierce and Dive Down available. Hoping they, try and cast something we can pierce. I guess that has to resolve, as sad as it is. Yep, that's fine. So I'm going to Obsession with Drake again, at which point the opponent's probably going to be fairly annoyed because we have like 3 cards per turn and an unblockable 3/3, which is, yeah, that's good. I know I'd be thoroughly annoyed. Yeah, hand is still great. Opponent's got minimal pressure. They've got the same clock as us approximately. I'll just counter that. If they do resolve the 2 mana enchantment, that plus this is very good. Yeah, I'm about to take an absolute dollop of damage. That's bad. Might start trouble blocking next turn. Oof. The Firebrand being 1 damage, that being damage. This is so bad. I have to attack because I have to try to draw something like an unsummon that isn't in my deck. Maybe a Trickster. Oh, that was such a bad turn. I think I completely misplayed that. I should have just, instead of being scared of this plus this and countering this, I should have accepted that a 1/3 on its own is bad and waited for them to play that. Yeah, this isn't great. All they have to do is go to combat and their triggers kill us. I don't know if we can persuade them that we've got a Merfolk Trickster. The problem, of course, is that they're going to get to go to combat. Yeah. Well played, opponent. Badly played, Chris. Oh, we had all the pieces. Life was great, and I killed all the life. It was like a double Thanos. Oh well. For my defense, Magic's really hard, and I'm not that smart. Sporadic Penguin. Another nice hand. This deck is great. Get to play more Legacy. I'm going to play the Sailor rather than Storm Tamer. I like being able to end of turn threat into untap Obsession. It's pretty frightening. Given that they're a Sacred Foundry deck, I'm going to operate under the assumption that they've got a ton of removal. So So I'm going to wait until next turn when I'm a lot safer, when I've got access to this ability and the retort. Basically being a coward. We're going to Obsession the Sailor so that when we need the Storm Tamer it's not so painful to sack it. Usually with the Obsession, once you connect once, it's like you don't care too much about them killing the thing because the Obsession has replaced itself and you're one-for-oneing with the creatures. If they've got lots more Clarions, we're in a lot of trouble. Oh, that's a good draw. Gonna attack with all. Pretty much every turn. Looks like we were playing against a control deck, so that's a good draw. Retort. The Spell Pierce is probably still good enough if they go for another Clarion, for example. Yeah, some kind of weird big mana Mardu control deck from the looks of things. Hopefully we'll stop flooding soon and... Oh, what have they got? Hopefully that's correct. I've not used this card before for that ability. Can I have a card please? Nice. Play that out. A bit more protection. And we've got the Spell Pierce. We're in a reasonable shape. Depends on how many sweepers they've got. Okay, that means we're not getting like cleansing Nova'd at least. I'm going to play the Cutthroat first, then I'm going to Spell Pierce after that to get the trigger. And then we've got 6 power, so 2 turn clock. Pretty good. We have drawn 9 lands so far, which is very much 5 too many, which is a bit annoying. I'm going to play this one tap. And now the downside is the only protection I've got is the Storm Tamer. The plus side is that they kind of have to have a sweeper. Like this bot removal spell isn't good enough. They're reading the Storm Tamer, which presumably means they are annoyed about it. If I'm countered, pretty good. Oh dear. If they minus that, just dead in the water. None of these are elementals, I don't think.
I always wanted to make a really big fireball.
I'm going to concede. I wish there was a reveal hand button, because you don't normally draw 11 lands with this stupid deck. Right. Pro red is good. Aether Gust being able to deal with Chandra is pretty great. And maybe the negates, because I haven't seen a single creature. Makes me not want Unsummon, makes me not want Essence Capture, Tricksters. I really do think they're quite control-y. The rest looks nice, so what's the weakest card? They've got a lot of sweepers, so I'm going to cut one dive down. Although buffing toughness is good even against red sweepers rather than spot removal, so maybe that was a mistake. I'm a bit prejudiced against dive down, I don't really like the card. Got to get this damn penguin. I'm going to keep. It's a bit greedy without the land, but I'm hoping the Obsession is going to get me there. And I suppose law of variance after last game is that I'm going to draw probably 1 to 2 lands, having drawn 11 last game. Pay 2, cast this. I'm hoping they don't have much 1 mana removal, so I can get in with an Obsession under their removal, start drawing some cards, start hitting some land drops. Good. I'm going to Obsession that, and then hope to God that it hits us an island. That's not an island. Opponent is going to know that I'm greedy and suck at magic, which is shameful. Land. Oh, yeah. Smartest man alive. I'm just going to play the Drake. Basically, protection from their deck, mostly. We've seen some black removal though. But hopefully if we can get a Curious Obsession on that, then we're laughing. I would like to. Perfect. See, very good decision to keep that one lander. Totally well thought out and smart, and in no way lucky. That resolved.
You want to play with fire, huh?
So this is the one that Mono Red plays. The one that's like a sort of, what's it called?
It's you burning.
The red outpost. That effect. So, stating the obvious, we're not interested. Well, am I interested in killing it? Or am I interested in killing them? They're on 16, but we can apply quite a lot of pressure. Oh, I generally err on the side of dealing with planeswalkers, but this has to attack players to draw cards, so I'm going to choose to attack the player there. Chandra's passive of damaging us isn't that strong because we are sort of undeterred by that. Just gonna play into the bloody Deafening Clarence because we can't beat one. Although these having protection is nice. Yeah, that resolves because our hand has 0 instants in it. Although they might be setting up for a Clarion, which would be mighty upsetting.
No problem. Fire can't solve.
Does it say play or cast? It's play, so they are allowed to play that land. Opponent appears to be thinking about killing this. Okay, so we lose these two. I'm going to play this out. Cast Dispersal is a great draw. I think at this point I'm just going to send everything at Chandra. As bad as it is not to draw a card, the opportunity to remove a Planeswalker fairly cleanly
Figure it out on your own.
and then have like a hard counter in your hand is nice. Because they don't know about the Dispersal, it's the one card they haven't seen, so they may play into it with, you know, some big spell. Negates another nice one. This is starting to look quite good for us. What a reasonable clock, 5 a turn. Drawing extra cards. I feel good about this, although I keep saying that, and I keep throwing it away by being crap at Magic, so... Okay. Just gotta kill everything. Cool. Maybe we're only half crap, which is all we can really hope for if we're not, you know, reduke or whatever. Ugh. The penguin is thinking. We're in their head.
Learning to perfect the ancient art of fire rape. You've always been so warm and calculated. I owe you a thanks. Eyes wide shut, I promise not to fall awake. Lick the guillotine and tell you how the game tastes.
We actually haven't seen much of their deck apart from removal and Chandra's, so I don't really know what their deck does. It looks like it's some kind of Planeswalker, sort of, yeah, big Planeswalker control deck, which is pretty sweet. I wonder if they've got things like treasure maps and stuff. This has got to be a keep with the Opts. It's basically a 3-lander, isn't it? He says before he misses a ton of land drops. Don't see my shameful keep, opponent. I guess they take the Aether Gust, or okay, one Spell Pierce. That's a nice draw because it means we can hold up Spell Pierce and Opt, and then at the end of the turn we just stick this guy. Yes. Oh, see, we're so smart. Nothing better than like getting away with it when you really have been a dick. So they know our hand, but that's fine. If they want a Clarion, we've got Spell Pierce. Pardon me. Spell Pierce that. Spell Pierce anything. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to play this because we've got the option to use it. Although none of our creatures are irreplaceable, it's not like we've got anything either large or with an obsession on it. If I look tired and yawn, it's because I'm so crap at using computers. I managed to pretty much spend 6 hours trying to upload my first video onto YouTube yesterday until 2 AM. And I'm paying the price because I'm sleepy as hell. But, you know, it's to be expected. Anyone who's ever seen me try to use anything technical won't be surprised by that. I am pretty bad at this stuff. I'm going to opt, it seems safe. I just want mana. I would like to untap. Yeah, we're all right here. I think we've got a modest clock and loads of disruption in hand. Also, opponents miss lands, and they are far more reliant on casting their 3 and 4 and 5 drops than we are. Sure, I'll dive down that. It's our least versatile spell that we currently have in hand. Everything else is a bit more flexible. If they... Yeah, that may have been a mistake playing the Storm Tamer because I could have adapted Terramander. Luckily, blue cards are good, and me being mediocre doesn't change that. Well, there you go. That is 2 sets of best of 3. I'll play one more. Hopefully we get to play against a 3rd different deck, so we can get some good, like, relevant sort of spread of matchups, so you can see, because I don't think that Mardu deck is typical, but I could be wrong. I am not a standard expert. The red-blue deck, I've not seen necessarily that exact list before, but I've seen stuff like it. I think it's like a fringe sort of player that might be growing. We always want to play first. This is a pretty good hand. I'm going to play the Storm Tamer and pass. This deck tends to have like fairly simple decisions very early and then very hard decisions later. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to shock myself because we've got Trickster and Essence Capture and Spell Pierce and all these cool options. Just going to Essence Capture that. It seems a shame to get no value with the counter, but getting rid of... I mean, assuming this is like a Phoenix sort of deck, the Electromancers are terrifying because it represents several mana every turn. Yeah, I'm just going to hold up my mana. I was thinking about playing this and keeping Spell Pierce open, but I can just keep the Trickster at the end of the turn. It's a bit soft to shock, which they probably have, because they are playing like 8 of that effect. Yeah, we've got one. It's dead. Never land, please. I can't. Well, we play this, and hopefully Spell Pierce will make us really smart. It does not. Ah. Pretty good. I'm going to cast a chart now because we get the sort of post-combat value, although missing lands is sad. They've almost certainly got red removal. Okay, handle that. That's a nice anemic clock. much as I hate unsummon, it's kind of good here because the card disadvantage is mitigated by the Curious Obsession. Easy land. Nice. Hopefully the opponent's turn is just to play the Phoenix again. Sure. I'm not blocking. Popped. Take that, that's great. I'm going to attack, try and bait them into blocking if they don't notice that Terramander's easily adaptable. So they're adapted. I mean, it's not hard for them to return the Phoenix, so it's not like getting a chump block out of a, you know, an easier creature to kill, shall we say, because that thing could be back in 10 seconds, but... Okay, I can live with all of that, because the strike can't kill my Terramander. Yep. Yep. It's a bit sad that they're getting all the value. They should probably have done it post-combat so they didn't have to discard, although Beacon Bolt is a great one to discard. So opponents just decided to kill me, which is totally reasonable. Get dead next turn. There. Right. Can't really attack. Great defense. Losing the obsession is sad. For those who don't know, Curious Obsession falls off if you don't attack. They are not doing a ton to counter that. The turn is pretty mopey. Clearly we can't attack. Their plan is presumably to Beacon Bolt. And they've got they've got loads. So we do have to counter it. We should be able to. If they try to Beacon Bolt this for lethal, we're pretty good. Finale, that is an exceptional draw. Luckily we can counter it. Sadly are failing to draw other stuff, and they still have a lethal Goblin. Lethal Goblin would be a tremendous rap name. First one resolves. Hopefully they... I think I'm dead. I think if they play any spell, they bring back the Phoenix, and I can't block both. So... yeah, I'm going to concede. But as we've seen, the sideboard is very good in this deck. It seems to be more than capable of straightening things out post-side. So what didn't we like? You saw why Terramander's only a 2-of in the deck then, which is that it's neither a pirate nor a wizard. Although, being able to make it 5 toughness is good. Dive down seems good. Spell Pierce seems necessary. Unsummon obviously isn't great. Chart's probably disposable. Essence capture. Still 3 cuts to make. Two of those, maybe 3. Not very scientific sideboarding. Also probably incorrect sideboarding. I should have read Sideboard Guide, written by someone smart. But I'm not usually one for that sort of aspect of Magic. I tend to like to wing it, which is one of the reasons I'm destined to be mediocre forever. This is a kind of boring hand. I think with the Opts it's probably fine. Like, the Opts should dig me to a threat within the next turn or 2. That is not a threat, and we've got Lookhouse Dispersal already. ×2 apparently. I'm gonna Opt now. In case I draw like a Siren Storm Tamer or something. Okay, well that's a threat, so we keep it. And I'm going to play this tapped. Pass. So yeah, kind of a mopey turn. Mopey 2 turns really. Luckily they didn't have a turn 1. Miss. You should miss, Augur. You always miss for me. That is treacherous. Yeah, Augur Brothers never behaves that well when I cast it. I suppose I mainly cast it limited, so I don't have the same, like, spell density. I think it was incorrect for me to cast the Trickster, and I think it was definitely incorrect for them to fight this hard over it. Whatever. That didn't work out too badly for me, really. That's not a pirate, that one is, and it has flash, so we can kind of trick people with any luck. Well, specifically trick Hot Ride. For the tricking other people doesn't help. The problem is, knowing that there's a finale in their hand means it's easy for them to get that back. The nice part of it is, however, that we've got a hard counter for the finale. We've got a really great blocker for Felix's. It's hard for them to remove. I'm assuming they just go for the finale. That's what I would... Yeah, the Graveyard's lit up. I think that's what it's... Oh! Oh. Damn it. I think I'm going to counter that because I've got an empty hand and I've got 5 mana. So my plan for the foreseeable future revolves around the Sailor not being dead. Okay. Rats. I think basically I'm in trouble if I don't draw something like a Curious Obsession. That is not the Curious Obsession. This has been a stunning representation of my ability to lose at Magic with good cards. Oh dear. Well, the good news is they've given Lava Coil flashback and they can only target their bowler, which is quite fun. I think they forgot what protection the red does. If I wasn't losing so hard, I'd probably be rude with the emotes at that point. That's a nice draw. I'm not going to attack because I don't want to trade 1 for 3. That seems real bad when I'm already behind. Yeah, they can have that. We're going to start drawing lots of cards. I assume they realise how protection works, maybe not. Yep, that's fine. play this and use it immediately. I really like this card, I think it's amazing, it's great in literally every format. Having Obsession on something that's got protection from them is lovely. Yeah, I may end up having to chump with this, but I think we've kind of dragged it back to a fairly commanding position somehow. But yeah, historically, when I'm feeling confident, I'm usually wrong. Have they got any dead phoenixes? No, which is good. Please don't just deposit a phoenix, that would make me so sad. Cool, that was a good turn for us. They might have to not attack there. I think it's a bit passive from them, but because they might think they can block this. Play another one of these because that's just exceptional against the Phoenix. And now we're looking all right. We've got the Dispersal, we've got the Trickster. Ugh. Counter that. How close are we to lethal? I haven't really thought about it. Might have been correct to sack the Storm Tamer there. I think the Storm Tamer has less value. Six, seven we've got. So we've got a 2-turn clock. But obviously that's not quite true, is it? Because they can block. Okay, Negate's not bad. Having this as well. Feeling good. What have you got? Not Finale. Well, actually, Finale's fine. Because Negate's great. Means they don't get to cast them. Yeah, agreed. I think that Negate was pretty clutch, which is nice because obviously it was the last card we drew, so that always feels good. I'm not going to change the sideboarding. That plan seemed absolutely fine. Keep this on the draw with the Ops. But I'm going to play under the kind of ridiculous assumption that I'm going to draw 2 lands in a row. Because I'm so smart and I'm so lucky. And, you know, sometimes you do get away with absolute murder. A good friend of mine called Ian is an absolute scumbag like that. And that was a definite Ian keep. That's a bit sad. I don't like the Electromancer being alive. Pretty sure I have to attack. I also kind of have to opt looking for a land. Perfect. We're doing an Ian. Hopefully we'll continue to get away with murder. It's card neutral, I guess. So it's not. Unless their hand is Phoenixes, of course. Perfect. Good. Probably another spell pierce from them. They do seem to always have spell pierce. Fine. It all happens. It's a bit sad because they get their stupid pigeon back now and they're going to start dying. I'm going to opt so I can mentally switch off. We're just looking for a creature, obviously. We didn't side with any black cards, so the fact with no black mana is fine. The fact with no creatures is not fine. We're on a 3-turn clock, but you saw last game it doesn't always have to be that bad. Go for a count spell. What have you got, opponent? Another one! Right, let's opt looking for just about anything, that's fine. That's also fine. This has been a fortuitous turn of events. We've got no more. Oh, that's a good one to negate because the discard is part of the cost, so you get 2 for 1 there. You can just block here, take. I would like to. Sorry, I'm bad at using the arena interface as well. So we take 6, which is a bit sad, but we get to cast this and start using it. Pretty good draw as well. We're clearly not attacking. Well, spell base isn't that good. Depends on them being on 4 lands. It might do something, but all their stuff costs 2 less. So maybe not. Probably not. But 2 Electromancers is like. That's an absurd power level. What have we got? Okay. Feels bad catching in the Sailor, but we've kind of got to cut their board down a bit. I mean, as it happens, we're looking exceptionally dead, but they might not know that. Hopefully. Please, opponent, don't figure it out. It'd be weird if they didn't just attack with both, because it's free. Like the Electromancer is safe from all of it. I've kind of shown that we've got nothing now. They know they don't have to play around a trickster, so we are dead. So there we go. All 3 best of 3s were super close. We lost 2 and won 1, and I guess that's probably about right, given that it's a good deck in bad hands, so it kind of evens out to being pretty mediocre. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I recommend this deck very much. If you're a capable player, you will probably be able to rank up quite quickly with it. Cheers, guys.